Yeah.
That's what I was going to add that. Like, that's the most important covenant, our covenant with God.
Yeah. And my point is, like you said, if this isn't right, I want to yank out the Band-Aid, you know? I just want to make sure we're on the same page. And in doing so, like, yeah, it could feel conniving. It could feel like we're being, like a snake. But like I said, we need to go against the kingdom of darkness with vicious mindset. Mm-hmm. If we could help one another and be a strength, why not? Have that mentality. I am here to serve you is where I want to get at. Yeah.
There was a verse that was when we were talking. I was like, man, this is a good verse. John 13:35, and it says, "By this all men will know that you are my disciples if you love one another."
Yes.
So we're just basically detailing what does loving one another mean. So.
So for the covenant, then, is it independent to each person as to why you're in this covenant, or like everyone is in this covenant for the same reason? Like if it's independent, then I mean, like that's okay, but
I think we all have a selfishness in us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if anything, let this be an encouragement to increase your love. Mm-hmm. Because we don't have a role model of what that looks like, we can tend to be passive and not speak up when a loving thing would be to speak up.
My opinion. I feel the way to express good love is biblically, obviously. But in our day of age, I feel that this needs to be addressed. I think we lack love in our generation, at least, because of our labels again, our millennial mentality of instant gratification, expectation. You feel entitled. We don't owe each other anything. We're doing it because we love each other. So when you expect somebody to do something for you, that's not love. That's not unconditional. That's conditional. So we're not expecting us to do anything. We should be loving each other because we want to, because we love the Lord, and there's unity in that. So we have to be fighting our millennial label and breaking off those expectation, entitlements, instant gratifications. Those things will stifle your love in this generation, cause you coldness, because when you don't get that expectation because of whatever, you're putting your trust in man when the Lord is why we're here. So let's remember why we're here is the Lord. Yeah. Like our ministries are second from us being children of God. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I feel like there's one real encompassing covenant, that's the Lord and us, and he has that power to make it real. He has that power to transform us, and he's made it where he's transformed us into his children. He's transformed us into a family, and we have groups here, groups there for different ministries, and we have local churches, and that's, I feel, God's way of serving his children. He'll have a shepherd here and a shepherd there, because there's sheep at this corner of the world, and there's sheep over at the other corner of the world. So there's, in a sense, they have a covenant together because they're together in a group like we do, but there's one encompassing covenant, and that's with the Lord. And I can go over to China, I can go over to the Philippines, and I'll be family with them, because I'm seeking the Lord and they're seeking the Lord. And that's the reason why I fell into a book club, because I saw that we're family. And I just joined them because now I'm in kind of a covenant with them, just because we're in book club. I came here because Marie invited. I chose to. I didn't have to. I have stuff I have to do. But like all of us, we chose to be here. Like you said. Mike, you raise your hand. That's your yes. Us being here, that's our yes. My reason was because I trusted that Marie is somebody that seeks after God. There are things that she needs to grow on, just like anybody else, but I trust that her main purpose is to seek after God. And so that's why I'm here. If ever she falls away and decides not to seek the Lord, then I won't go to her invitations, because she's broken covenant with me, because my covenant is with the Lord. That's our binding one thing. Now she won't do that, and if she offends me outside of the Lord, if she wrongs me, I'll do everything I can, because I'm keeping my covenant, because the Lord is keeping his covenant to us, because we miss him all the time. And if I'm following him in my covenant with him, then I'll be doing what he does to chase after my sister, my family. You do everything for your family. That's covenant to me. I mean, we talk about what we think it is. We talk about these attributes. Those things are nothing without the Lord. If you're not seeking the Lord, you're going to fall apart. I don't care how good you are. You can try your best to love your brother. You try your best to set boundaries. Try your best to work things out amongst each other. I just want to bring it back to the Lord. I feel like our covenant first is with the Lord in the secret place. If we want to talk about what covenant means, is what is binding us together. Nothing but our secret place with the Lord.
Okay.
If we don't have that, we're gonna know. Individually, we know ourselves. We know how we live when we are disciplined, diligent in our prayer life, and when we're not diligent in our prayer life, in our word, in our presence. We don't love the way we know we can with the Lord. Sin is not like, whoa, a big thing. No, I'm just missing the Lord today. If you're missing him, you're not walking with him. You're too busy missing him. If I'm too busy missing someone, I might be a little bit preoccupied. I might have emotions that are stirring up in me. But if I'm walking with him, I'm happy. I'm doing great, and we together can help others. I want to be in a covenant where people seek the Lord. They take it upon themselves that they know that he's their source. You can't forgive nobody if you don't see that the Lord is the most important thing, that not forgiving is hindering your relationship with the Lord. If you don't forgive, you're saying that my relationship with the Lord is not that important. My problem with the other person is more important.
Wow.
If I don't seek out to chase after a brother or sister that has mistakes, that has weaknesses, that can't see right now, then my relationship with the Lord is not that important to me. Your burden upon me to help you, to worry about you, to pray for you, to fast for you is just too much. It's more important than God.
I think that's
I just want to take it to the root, because where the root is, that's where the fruit is going to be. We want to pick out these fruits all day, all year long, but the Lord says, make the tree good and it'll bear good fruit. You are righteous. You're righteous-minded. You'll bear righteous fruit. But if you are sinful-minded, you condemning, condemnation, shame, guilt, you're going to bear more sin. So,
just to emphasize on that, like, it's so cool when you look into the Bible and it says that, like, all the commandments can be summed up into two, just like love the Lord God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and then love your neighbor as yourself. Like, that's really what gives so much weight to that, because that's true, because that floods into everything else that you do.
yeah. Thanks for letting me share. That's my.
No, I think that's
my
a
heart.
great
That's why I'm
transition
here.
to what we're about to do. And you guys, if you guys don't know Bal, you guys can see why we invited him. And like I said, I was very hesitant to invite anybody else, just because, like, I didn't ask you guys, you know. when I asked some of the book club leaders, what their 5-year plans from now is, 10-year plans from now is, Bao was just like, I'm gonna go any country that he wants me to. And I'm gonna put my life on the line. When I heard that, I really heard a heart surrendered, like not filtered by the world. And if you know anything about him, like he's a medical student, and I was in the medical field. I was shocked. We were all shocked when he stepped up to be leader of book club, and because I know the workload, but you're so sold out, and I just want to affirm that, and I think that's a great transition into, for the time's sake, let's move on to, and I really hope you guys have the desire to continue to meet in the future. If you feel led to call an emergency prayer meeting, do it. We're family. And this is my initiation, but you guys are in the covenant, you guys are leader, make your initiation. I don't care what field of influence you are. If you're about the Father's business and you're about each other, loving God, loving each other, if you're committed to this, feel free to say, hey, I feel like we need an emergency prayer. And say, yeah.
Can I just, before we transition to the individual
Yeah.
callings, since we're here, it took a lot for us to be here. Thank God for that. Just to address, because there's going to be times when a group wants to come together and glorify the Lord and to serve people and do discipleship, that the enemy's going to come in and try to mess with it. And I've had a great group up north where we grew up together in the Lord. A pastor took us as like 1 year, 2 year, or rededications to the Lord, brand new Christians, and he raised us up, right? And then some relational stuff got in the way, and then because we loved each other so much, like we stopped doing stuff because we're like, if we got to invite, so and so, but then we can't invite so and so, so forget it. So that's how the division came in, and that's a big problem. But individually here, I challenge you right now. The Lord will challenge you right now to be bigger than your own problems. Mm-hmm. The Lord challenges you to make Him bigger. And in 2 Corinthians, now this is Paul saying, like, you guys got a problem at your church. I want you to settle it, right? In 2 Corinthians. And then he writes to them again, and he says, now, however, it is time to forgive and comfort him. Otherwise, he may be overcome by discouragement. So I urge you now to affirm your love for him.
That's good.
Now, this is big. This is a challenge. This is a challenge to you individually. Right now, if you're in a situation, but in the future, because you're going to be in a situation, expect it. The people that you like feel closest to, that you can talk to right now, they'll challenge you in the future. They might not be there for you. They might say something. They might do something. They're going to do it. It's going to happen. So I urge you now to affirm your love for him. I wrote to you as I did to test to see if you would fully comply to my instructions. When you forgive this man, I forgive him too. And when I forgive whatever needs to be forgiven, I do so with Christ's authority for your benefit. You have to make it, like, if you have a problem with somebody, then it hurts really bad. You have to have the guts to come up to them and say that God is more important, and I have to put myself down. And we have to look at our faults first. We have to go, where can I, if I was Christ, how can I, what was wrong? Like, if I was Christ, because that's what I'm called to. So apologize for that, because I'm putting Christ first. That gives the other person the opportunity, to extend grace, or to just keep crucifying you. But at least you're with Christ. So with Christ's authority, but then he goes on, so that Satan will not outsmart us For we are familiar with his evil schemes. We are not ignorant of his devices. It talks about unforgiveness. And Paul says here, you have to forgive. He's saying, follow me. As you have followed me before, like to send them out, to cut them out, now you have to follow me to forgive. I forgive with the authority of Christ. Because we're not supposed to be destroying, we're supposed to be raising up. Because his device is unforgiveness. That's his device. We're not ignorant of his device. But because of Christ, like he is the, we have to check it. Is he a bigger reason? So just expect it. And when something comes against you, man, be challenged. You know, war is coming. You know, with the men, like the floodgates are coming down. We're gonna invade Normandy. We're gonna run out there and do war. So it's like, it's so bad. Like, man, you really hurt me. But there could have been something I could have done, and I apologize for not doing that. I just want to reconnect because we're family. Because we're children of God, and we can't have unforgiveness. We can't have anything holding us back from love, from service. So I just want to lay that out for us, that we've chosen to be here, you know, to grow up in the Lord together, to be there to encourage each other, because the world doesn't encourage us. The world is there to challenge us. The devil is there to use the world to challenge us. We're here to encourage each other, you know, to grow in the Lord. And just real quick, I'm sorry, I'm taking a few minutes here. More than that, we rejoice in our suffering, knowing that suffering produces endurance.